rain. God. Braves. But you know what? It's Friday. Hit all my bets, including the college football one last night. SMU backdoored the TTP in the fourth quarter, boys, like you would never believe. I had it over 30.5, but we're going to get into the Braves thing, Dave. I'm trying not to get upset this morning.
Don't want to talk about it just yet.
Like I walked, I
only have so much energy for it.
I woke up, I looked at my animals, my wife, obviously.
Get that chop sound.
I can't.
I don't want to hear anything.
What a day for the stream deck not to work.
Yeah.
Hey, look, win or lose, still gotta love it.
It's true. It's just at this point,
road,
I'm going to get into I'm sick of the excuses too about the bye week. I'm going to get into that. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm tired of listening to it. But we're glad you guys are listening to us.
That's true.
Glad you guys are watching us. Hope you're enjoying the Friday. I said this morning, tweeted out, I'm treating every day of the week like a different part of like an offensive drive. Today's first and goal from the 2.
Yes,
hey, let's punch it in on first down. I'm not trying to play
Jalen
games.
Hurts this thing.
No, I'm not trying to get cute like Sark did against Oklahoma inside the 5. Let's line up. Let's get into heavy personnel. Let's run it downhill. Let's get in the end zone and have a good weekend.
When are we going to start weeks off on the defensive side of the ball?
We will. I'm doing it every week. We're doing it different.
Okay.
Patience, not just for therapists and doctors. The Phillies beat the Braves to advance to the NLCS. Man, it hurts to say that. The Chiefs topped the Broncos in Arrowhead, and we're previewing the top Week 7 matchups in college football, including tonight. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to the Flamin' Dragon edition of Crane & Company. Now, we believe in sports curses here at Crane & Company. You all know that. We also trust the signs. I mean, hell, we're in the trust tree. So whenever there's anything that we feel like can jinx a team that comes to light, we have to call it out. Sometimes you just got to believe. Now, we all know Georgia's looking like one of the best teams in the country right now, but it seems they have just caught a stray from none other than rapper Drizzy Drake Ryder. Now, if you don't know, Drake is one of the best in the rap game. I don't think that's even disputable. And while his songs are legit, so is his sports curse on teams that he adopts or backs. So when this picture of him rocking some Georgia gear appeared, as you can see, Dog Nation cringed together. Now you may be saying, Jake, come on, man, sports curses aren't real. All right, let's just look at the track record then. I want to give a shout out to FanDuel Research on this as well. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., when he made his MLB debut, he's one of the most hyped Major League Baseball prospects coming into 2019. Started out a respectable 2-8 from the dish, and then the Blue Jays third baseman got to meet his favorite recording artist, Drake. He then went on to go into a slump over his next 4 games, going 2 for 15. How about Alabama in college football? January 7th, 2019. Drake publicly backed then number 1 ranked Alabama ahead of the Crimson Tide's 44-16 loss to Clemson in the 2019 National Championship. An absolute beatdown. In fact, it was the worst loss in a dozen years during the Nick Saban era. Now, some people said this could be the curse of the college football playoff number 1 seed, but it wasn't. It's because of Drake, all right? You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this out. How about Conor McGregor? Let's go into some UFC. October 2018. Now, we know Drake's a bandwagon fan, but this was probably the most surprising sports adoption yet, you could say, from Drake. He was there during the lead-up to the UFC matchup between Khabib and Conor McGregor in 2018. McGregor even brought Drake out during the weigh-in, and it went viral. Now, unfortunately for Drake, Khabib then went on to absolutely destroy Conor McGregor and added another black mark to his infamous record. Now, Kentucky in 2013, until really even now, all right, we all know that Drake loves Kentucky basketball. He's got a friendship with Wildcats head coach John Calipari. He makes regular appearance at Kentucky games, and while it's a great recruiting tool, it has not translated into any postseason success. Kentucky hasn't won a title since 2012, and that's when Drake released his critically acclaimed album, Nothing Was the Same, the year after that. So in other words, Kentucky has not won anything really since Drake became a mainstay for the Wildcats. Coincidence? Absolutely not. And let's end it in this, and I could go for way longer. The Golden State Warriors, the Untouchables. 2016. Drake, big Golden State Warriors fan. He regularly shouts out Steph Curry and the Warriors in his songs. He even reportedly lost $60,000 betting on the Warriors in the 2016 NBA Finals to rapper French Montana. Now, many sports fans felt like that 73-9 regular season Warriors team that lost to the Cavs must have been divine intervention. No, it wasn't. It was Drake. So there you have it. Some curses are real. Just ask the Cubs or Red Sox fans, or really any athletes that's ever even touched a Kardashian or been within 3 feet. Let's just hope that Brock Bowers' sorcery can keep the curse away long enough for a Georgia three-peat. If you're a Georgia fan, of course. David, Michigan.
The deep dive we needed today.
It's facts.
I love it.
Big facts. I mean, again, like, look at the evidence. Exhibit A, Exhibit B.
He's not convinced.
Exhibit C.
No, I mean, the track record's not great, but the Raptors won the championship in 2019.
Okay, so now you're one for what? I could have kept going.
I say curses get break.
I could have kept going. But when was that?
2019.
2019. It's 2023.
Had to win one
Has he done it
eventually.
to another team since?
Yes.
Since 19?
Kentucky.
He sits in the Kentucky basketball meetings.
Yeah, like he's literally
He's on the
released an album
team.
saying nothing was the same after he backed him, and nothing's been the same for Kentucky.
So apparently he had to wear that because he lost a bet with somebody.
Doesn't matter. You put it on.
And he's actually an Alabama fan.
Hold on. Does that matter, though?
No, it doesn't matter.
Does that matter?
It doesn't matter.
Because if he's not repping them,
he's repping them.
that's important information.
He's repping them.
Look, I have no affiliation with the Georgia Bulldogs other than that's my home state, right? That's the home state. I had high school buddies, high school teammates who went and played for Georgia. So I was happy when they broke that curse. That's good. Let Georgia get them one. Then they get two. Okay, they're back to back. All right, good for Georgia, man. Great. But then you got dogs barking at you in the street. They're whipping up on my alma mater. So I'm thinking this year, okay, good for Georgia. It's someone else's time. Let's move on.
Well, if there's one way to combat a curse, it's with another witch, right? You fight fire with fire. Brock Bowers. If I was a Georgia fan, I would find so much solace in Brock Bowers is on the roster that you would think, Steph Curry'd be able to fight it, and he has some, right? But Brock Bowers, the ultimate witch. So I want to know what you think in the comments. Is Georgia in trouble? Like, legitimately? If you believe in sports curses or jinxes, right, is Georgia in trouble? I don't think you'd be crazy to believe it. I don't think you'd be crazy to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. David, I want to get in this Braves thing, okay? I want to get this bad boy out of the way. But first, I want to go to the Booster Club.
Okay. Let's go to house that Cody built. House of Cody. I hope you're okay today. He says, so Jake can bring up something about happening in 2016, but when Blaine brings up about something in 2019, it's too long ago.
No. Here was the thing. He said, all right, what about the Raptors winning it in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, so you're 1 for 1,000, whatever it is. And then you asked me what has happened since then, and I said Kentucky. So I'm confused. I'm not saying that
When
happened
did the Kentucky thing happen?
from 2013 on until like right now.
Okay.
So it was not that it was too long ago. I'm not discounting that 2019 win. What I'm saying is Blaine asked me a question of what is being cursed now, and I said Kentucky. That was my answer.
All right, let's go to Ryan Gay with a $10 donation, Ryan.
Here we go.
Because there were many cold sodas drank last night to celebrate my Phils. To forget that WVU game. I'm both happy and devastated at the same time, by the way. It's a pretty blatant hold on that Hail Mary play.
Yeah, that was a crazy ending if you watch the end of that West Virginia-Houston game. Basically, West Virginia converted a 4th and I think it was 10 with 22 seconds to go. They were down 3 from midfield. Not only did they convert it, they scored a touchdown. There was 12 seconds left. Squibb kicked it. Here's what this is what was crazy about that people aren't talking about. West Virginia got a unsportsmanlike conduct after scoring that touchdown with 12 seconds to go. You think game's over, right? Celebrated, went nuts, took your helmet off. That 15-yard penalty is assessed on the kickoff, which moves the kickoff back to the 20. You then squib it. They're able to return it almost to midfield. All right? If that penalty didn't happen, Donovan Smith probably doesn't reach the end zone with that Hail Mary, and Houston probably doesn't win that game. It's a lot of little things. But speaking about winning games, if you got a problem or you got a curse, I know a guy that can burn your house down. Am I right?
Hey.
You know what day it is.
This is flaming chocolate.
1.5. 1.5 today. Giving you a little leeway today. All right?
A little leeway.
A little
at
room to
1.5.
make mistakes. All right? You got room for one mistake. All right? That's what you got room for. We'll see how it goes. Let's go to Cody Williams with the $5 donation. Cody, hey. Did y'all think about what Caden and Painted Up LSU students should spell this weekend?
I just said
Auburn needs FD?
Flaming Dragon.
Question?
13 letters. Flaming Dragon. It's 7, and then it's 6. 13 letters. He said they could do 13. If you don't know, some LSU fans that paint up the Paint Up posse, they asked if, what we wanted in the Paint Up is, why not have Flaming Dragon? It works both ways.
I love it.
You can embrace it if you're an LSU fan. You can embrace it if you're an Auburn fan. It's a solar eclipse. If there was ever a time to actually see a dragon, it is at the Auburn-LSU game during a solar eclipse. That's the only time it would ever happen. Speaking about ever happening, if you don't know and you don't want your personal information out there, I promise you it's out there. Google your name. It'll blow your mind the amount of personal info that is floating around the internet. Today's digital age, it is crucial to understand your online footprint and what is out there about you. Believe me, we all know it. Regardless of what business you're in, if you do a show, if you do media, or you're an insurance salesman, it doesn't matter. Data brokers, hackers, and anyone with an internet connection, they can find out your personal details, photos, and sensitive info. So it's time to take control of your personal information so you can protect it with Delete Me. I'm telling you guys, it's a new age. You need to get on this. It's a hands-free subscription service that will remove your personal info that's being sold online. It's really simple. You submit the information you'd like to have removed online, and Delete Me's experts, they'll search the internet to find it, and they'll remove it. You'll receive a detailed report in 7 days, and they'll continue to remove your personal information every 3 months. I'm talking about address, phone number, old pictures, social security number, all this stuff, okay? And you can now get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Crane. All right, that's joindeleteme.com/CRAIN, and you use our promo code CRANE, CRAIN. It's the only way to get 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/CRAIN, and use that promo code at checkout. Make sure you do it. I'm telling you, it's if you own a business, if you work for a business, all the stuff. Get your family signed up. It's very, very important. And it's very important that you go buy some merch. All right, we're going to put the link in right now. You want to help out the show? Go buy some merch right now. We're almost to the point where we can restock that thing, and we got some new designs, which we're going to unveil next week. We're excited to show you guys. All right, David, I know I jumped the gun on the Braves, but I know we got Thursday review, but I just want to get it out of the way. So I'm pissed about it.
So who wants to start?
You start, because I'm upset.
The Atlanta Braves are a regular season franchise.
They are.
They're a regular season franchise. 2 years ago, you broke through and went on a run. Congratulations, only by the grace of Alex Anthopoulos being a wizard straight from a J.K. Rowling novel. That's the only reason. 13 division titles since 2000. Something like 23 division titles in 30 years, something like that. And then what do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? What good is it to win the division year in and year out just to lose to the Phillies back-to-back season, a division opponent? We're the Mets of the postseason. That's what we always talk about. The Mets fall apart in the regular season. We're the Mets of the postseason.
Talk your ish, David. You're exactly right. You win the division 2 years ago by 14 games, get bounced by the Phillies. Win the division this year by 14 games, get bounced by the Phillies.
What gives?
162 games. Got to sit through 162 games of dominance. Then you go in the postseason. Look, postseason's always different than regular season, right? You just Drew Barrymore, 51st stage, just forget, going to get a pineapple for your birthday. Oh, there's a cow. I ran into a tree. Now I can't remember anything.
And the biggest at bat of
the season. I'm going to say this. I'm so sick of hearing people make excuses for the Braves. Oh, they had too much time off. Man, look. It's like I was saying, if I want to hear excuses, I'll interview prisoners, okay? You've been playing baseball your whole life. Okay, if that was the case, it would take everybody 2 months during the offseason to get back into a groove. Like, I think the wild card should be 1 game. We can have that argument, but not because there's time off in between. It's not like you're sitting at the house eating Cheetos and popcorn shrimp. You're taking BP. You're seeing some live pitching. Stop making excuses. You know what? The 3 things I'll never complain about, David. What did I say? Going home, getting a kiss from my wife. All right, number 2, being able to cut my own grass. And 3, getting a bye in the postseason. Those are the 3 things I'll never complain about.
Yep.
And we want to sit over here and complain about, oh, you got a little time off. Man, go. You're not going to forget. You just played 375 regular season games. Stop making excuses for them. The Braves choke in the playoffs. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. All right? You don't hear anything about it, and then all of a sudden you lose, and everybody just wants to make an excuse for him. And listen, it's one at bat by Ronald Acuna, and he hit it to the deepest part of the park. And I'm not blaming Ronald Acuna for the Braves not winning. I'm blaming everybody in that lineup. All right, I'm not blaming the pitching. Spencer Strider went out there and did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. But look, when you don't hit, when you set all these historic records in the regular season and you don't hit, you're going to lose. That's just part of it. Not because of time off, because the Phillies were the better team in this series. And then I had to see the last inning, watching us put the guys from bench warmers in to hit the last 3 outs. Like Nick Swartzen with the sword up at the plate. I'm sitting here watching Vaughn Grissom. You got runners on first and third to start the ninth down 2. After Kevin Pillar, get him out. Get him out. Doesn't run home when you have a pass ball that you'd have scored on easily. So now, runners on first and third with nobody out, you get a sacrifice fly, you can tie the game. Makes you want to puke, David. Disgusting. Vaughn Grissom? Sounds like an action figure hero to me, except he just doesn't come through in the clutch. Arcia's over there playing with the fans.
You know you're in trouble when something bad's going on in the world and you're playing against Nick Castellanos, because whenever anything bad, Nick always hits a tank.
At what point do you stop pitching the man?
He always does.
The man had his own personal home run derby during the NLDS.
It's weird, man. It's weird. But hey, fought hard. It's always next year, guys. At least you're in the playoffs. All right. I've been sitting at home for a while. We're a disaster on my side of the fence over here. All right. So, these are good. You can complain about these problems. That's fine. You're complaining about winning and not winning all of it. I get it. Shit, we can't even get a base hit at this point. All right. So it could be worse. I promise you that.
It's like watching the same movie over and over. Being a Braves fan is just bad for my mental health.
At least the Rangers are in it still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, though, the teams that deserve to be in it, that played the best, are in it right now. You look, the top teams, Orioles, gone, right? Really, the only favorites are the Astros, right? That are in. And that Astros-Rangers series, the Phillies-Diamondback series is going to be great. That Astros-Rangers series, fighting for the Alamo over there. All right. I just want to physically, I wasn't to the point where just devastated last night because I saw this coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
But it's just, man.
It's tough, man.
How many times?
It's tough.
And then the Chiefs-Broncos are on.
The good thing about it is like all
your
players are all 17 years old and phenomenal. So, it's tough time.
Yeah, we'll see. I trust Alex, though.
You got to. You got to.
What do you think about Chiefs-Broncos last night, David?
Oh, man. Chiefs-Broncos, I don't know. I saw Patrick Mahomes throw some balls that I haven't seen him make those type of throws before.
2 games
Looked
in
like
a row.
the Monstars. Looked like the Monstars infiltrated his body, though. So, ugly game to me.
Well, I still think, the Broncos are just so bad.
They are bad.
I don't know how they're that bad.
They're so bad on offense.
Who's worse right now, the Broncos or the Patriots?
I got to say the Broncos.
I feel like that's a close race.
Yeah. That's tough. But, I guess I'll lean a Bill Belichick team. What's got, Sean Payton's out here hitting bongs and critiquing other coaches. You can't worry about your own team?
Well, it's you saw the Jerry Judy, Steve Smith Jr. beef before the game.
Yeah.
I have never in my life, we have that clip and I want to play it. I have never in my life, whether it's a former player or a sports reporter, seen, you want to see 2 guys that really don't like each other, deep down, professionally, it even doesn't matter if we're in a professional setting. Let's go ahead and run this clip. This beef, strong.
However, a short while ago, Broncos wide receiver Jerry Judy was walking by, and Steve called out to him, and he got a different reaction.
I called out to him because on my podcast, Cut to It, I just talked about guys that maybe have not showed up in a way or in a manner. And so the word that I've used to describe him in the past was a jag, just a guy.
Just a guy.
And so when I saw him, he's playing well. I wanted to say to him face to face, hey, I know I said some things in the past I probably shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to say to him. His response, Mike Robb and Bucky, was ninja.
Ninja?
Yes, I'm using the word ninja. I'm just using the word ninja. I don't mess with you. And it was a curse word. And so I was like, all right. And then he repeated it. So I'll say it again. I'm sorry that I said you were a jag, just a guy. who's an average wide receiver they use a first-round pick on that isn't doing anything. I hope today that you actually show up in a way that you haven't showed up in the last couple of years since they drafted you. So if you ever got a problem with Agent 89, I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver that they eventually will move on. And when teams call me and asking, should they trade for you, I will say no, don't trade for Jerry Judy, because he's mentally unable to handle constructive criticism from people who watch specifically, can he be a wide receiver? He could be a wide receiver. He's a tier 3. Go back into the studio. I'm done now. Thank you.
Dude, like that's that.
Damn,
Steve's upset.
Did he say Agent 89?
That was his
number.
Nickname, alter ego, when he was playing. But you know what was crazy? When they went back to the studio, everybody was like, yeah. Does everybody hate Jerry Judy and we just didn't know it?
That's really unprofessional, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it is,
you can do that on your podcast.
It is.
There's lines you don't cross when you're on broadcast and stuff like that.
See,
you just called the guy,
man.
You called him mental, right? Like you broke him down on every aspect. No one's going. If someone calls you, called him a tier 3. You call him tier 3. That's bottom of the barrel, boys.
So what? So anytime so you can't be critical of a
no, you can
professional
critique
athlete?
somebody, but I don't think you should beat.
If I sit here and say that I think Dak Prescott's a bad quarterback, I mean, I don't think that's unprofessional.
But then if you try and go dap him up before the game, like, hey, when I said you were a bad quarterback on my podcast, like I really didn't mean that, and then he says, no, I don't mess with you.
Well, it's
what else was he supposed to say?
Well, again, now to me, if it's Jerry Judy, like, well, what does it really matter? But the thing is, like, Steve Smith, he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
And
he was really good.
Yeah, like if anybody has the right, like, see, to me, part of me, and I get, there's obviously lines you can't cross, right? But I kind of like the little bit of like reality in it. We're so like, everybody's like, all right, here we are, and Jerry Judy, man, he's really good. Sometimes I kind of
I don't want to hear about Jerry Judy bringing up the N-word twice. Like, I don't want to hear about that. Like, why even bring that up? Like, there's no reason.
He quoted what he was saying. He was telling him what was said. I would rather you give me all the context.
I would rather you not just tell me that Jerry Judy said the N-word. I'm sure you can use a little bit of finesse when you're talking about.
He did. He said ninja.
Ninja. No, you could just not even bring it up. Like, why even bring, like, you could say a guy hasn't lived up to his career, and Jerry Judy has in the NFL. Had a pretty good year last year, almost 1,000 yards. Jerry Judy's also been banged up, but he hasn't lived up to it. But I get critiquing a guy, but I don't think you just beat a guy down like that on national television. Just beat him down.
What did he think? Jerry Judy was like going to be really friendly with him or something?
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm agreeing with him.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think there's levels to it, man. I just feel like you went too far.
Well, I think it'd be different if one of the guys that hadn't really, didn't play or wasn't a wide receiver like that. I feel like that's why Steve Smith Sr.'s on there. I feel like that's kind of like his role to play. Like, I feel like and I like that. I like the versatility in that. It would suck if all three of us were just the exact same person. Not saying we'd go to that level. And I get Jerry Judy being pissed off. That's fine. I don't have a problem with Jerry Judy being mad at Steve Smith or Steve Smith being mad at Jerry Judy. Like, I thought it was interesting. I mean, to the point we're talking about, it's better than a lot of the other pregame stuff. It's just absolute peanut butter and jelly or vanilla ice cream.
It's a great look, man. I really don't think it's a great look for Steve. Like, you can do it on your podcast. I get it. You can beat him down, tear him up. Trust me. I make fun of Kirk Cousins every day on this show. It's great. I love it. But, like, if I went on, like, national TV, if they put me next to Tony Romo, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, well, Kirk past 230 sucks. I mean, he can't win a playoff game. He's absolute garbage.
Yeah, but
he's a tier 3 quarterback.
But I don't think.
Oh, hey, buddy, what's up?
I don't think.
How you doing? What's up, man?
I don't think Kirk Cousins would even acknowledge anybody going to dap it up. I don't see a big problem with that. I find it interesting. You have a problem with it. You want people to take steroids in baseball and golf and stuff, and yet this is crossing the line. You consider yourself a dragon on Fridays.
Yeah, well,
this is crossing the line.
I'm not on Thursday Night Football.
Huh?
I'm not on Thursday Night Football. We do a podcast on YouTube.
And on the Daily Wire, but it's media. Don't downplay the show. All right, let's get into a little bit of that. We talked about that West Virginia Houston game. That the Southern Miss. For some reason, I always do that with SMU. The East Carolina game, man, was crazy up until the end last night.
I didn't watch that. I was watching West Virginia.
Dude, I had 4 TVs going. I had the baseball game on. I had the 2 TVs technically and a laptop. Had the multi-view on the East Carolina SMU game because I had the SMU total team points over 30.5. When I watch Rhett Lashley and SMU, I wonder when they're going to break through. They're making the jump into the new conference, right, in conference realignment. When I watched the Preston Stone kid, he was the highest rated recruit to ever sign with SMU. Local guy, really good player. And I tell you what, I know East Carolina's defense isn't great, and I don't think Preston was great last night, but he may be one of the best quarterbacks in the country at like extending the play and being able to push the ball. Doesn't have a big arm. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback, I don't think. But watching him extend the play last night, East Carolina really bad on defense. Got a pick six late. And then, David, there's 2 minutes to go in the game. SMU's up 14 points. It's 24-10. Got the TTP over 30.5. All they got to do is run it out. Rhett Lashley, play action on 3rd and 9. East Carolina's out of timeouts. Throws a deep ball. Big tight end catches it. Runs through 2 guys. Almost gets tackled. If he gets tackled, he knees it out, stays up, scores the touchdown. So I want to personally did it on purpose. I want to personally extend a thank you to Rhett Lashley.
Wow.
Who last time he hit me up was when I did the What Coaches Really Want to Say, and I forgot I had the SMU logo on the sweatshirt.
Hey, what a cover by the Chiefs as well.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Spread was 10.5. We bought it down to 9.5.
Yeah, it was 11.
It went down to 10.5 right before the game.
Yeah,
pushed.
West Virginia was -3 too when they scored.
I almost took West Virginia money line.
Dude, I'd be sick if I'm Neil Brown. I'm sick.
I almost took a money line.
I'm absolutely
Thank goodness I took the GTP.
Sick. But if you want to go out and have a couple drinks, maybe go to the tailgate, and you don't want to be sick, well, our friends over at Z-Biotics, they've cracked the code. All right, we know that weekend games, Monday night games, Thursday night NFL games, they can go late. And if you want to go have some beers with the boys, we know the next morning's not going to be a ton of fun if you don't take care of business. But it's 2023. The science and the technology is caught up. Our friends over at Z-Biotics, like I said, they figured it out. Basically, here's how it works. When you drink, we know alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's not dehydration that makes you feel bad the next day. It's this byproduct. So you drink Z-Biotics before you go out to have a couple drinks, before you go to the tailgate, right? Before that Saturday slate gets started, and you'll feel fine the next day, right? You can go have a great time, all right? Because they break down this byproduct, all right? I've tried it. I've literally got it sitting right here, okay? Legitimately right here. It really works, okay? Let me get my hand off where you can see it. So go to zbiotics.com/booster to get 15% off your first order with code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. That's zbiotics.com/booster. Use the code BOOSTER at checkout for 15% off your first order. I'm telling you, this stuff really works, David.
I took it last Friday.
I'm telling you. And the older you get, if you're a college student going to the game, got a big game that weekend, I'm telling you, drink Z-Biotics before you go out. Just trust me. Make sure you're of age to drink. All right, Booster Club.
All right, let's get the chat. Sean Pennison, what's up, Shawnee? Hashtag Ask Crane & Company says, I want to make a wager. If Auburn wins, I'll send a care package. But if LSU wins, let me write a monologue.
No. No.
Sean, I love it, dude.
Yeah. No, Sean, not when they're 12-point favorites. It's 12.5-point or 11-point favorites. No chance.
It's too much. Let's go to Gray Fox 23 and $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother. There's also, thank you for making college football awesome again, guys. Owen Kid Charlie's mama gets some love. I'm Chris, by the way, for being awesome. Go Bison. Charlie, what's up, man?
Appreciate it, Charlie. Always. It's all love in the trust tree. You know that.
Okay, let's go to Christina Ruiz, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. He says, I know the head coaches and coordinators at Miami are to blame for the loss against Georgia Tech, but how does a QB not realize the stupidity of the call and make an executive decision to kneel?
David, I want your opinion on this. You played quarterback at Michigan. I mean, what would you have done in that situation?
It's hard not to just run the plays that are called from the coaching staff. You have to think that they're over there doing all the math. Maybe in the heat of the moment, I'm 5 seconds off or something, you know, and you don't want to be in a situation where you end up with 4th down, something like that, and you've taken a knee when you don't actually have enough time for the victory formation. But yeah, I don't know. At the same time, if I'm looking up and I'm doing the math and I see it, like, you just go down.
Do they have any timeouts left, Miami?
I'm not sure.
They
But
had 2, but Georgia Tech didn't have any.
But here's the best part. Oh, you take a delay game. Even if you don't have a timeout or you're confused or something, if you're Tyler Van Dyke, you're like, I don't understand. I'm doing the math. I'm looking at the clock. I can see the clock. I blame. This is one of those things where you can pass some blame around, right? It's a mistake by a lot of people. But this goes to the head coach. Mario Cristobal cannot allow this to happen. Yeah. I don't care if he was down before he fumbled. I don't care if the Georgia Tech guy slid before he got to the end zone. Should have never gotten to that point. So should Tyler Van Dyke have taken a knee or pretended to fall down? That's what I said. Like, oh no, I got my foot stepped on when I was going back. I fell down. Yeah, you can make that argument, but I put this on Mario Cristobal, and it's twice. I would, if you made that mistake once, there's no way you make that mistake.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fool me can't get fooled again.
Yeah, no, in this case, I mean, like, not even fool me once. Like, fool me once, you're fired.
All right, let's go to Dakota Blackburn. What's up, Dakota? Hashtag Ask the Boys. I know Neil Brown is an awesome coach, but what has happened at WVU? He owned the Sun Belt at Troy. He should be able to get good talent at West Virginia.
I mean, they're not having a horrible year this year. I mean, they should be 5-1. You know, if ifs and buts were candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But they were picked to finish last. I think what's happened with Neil is a lot of it is the recruiting aspect. I know Neil from an X's and O's point's a good coach. They do more formationally and from a motioning standpoint. You saw him do this at Troy. You saw him do this as an offensive coordinator at Kentucky, I believe. That they get in, they motion a ton. He does a really good job of out-leveraging people in formations before the play. He's really good at adjustments. But did it not seem yesterday, because I watched that whole game, that Houston just had better athletes overall than West Virginia did? Like, they just look so much faster. It's like they were playing at two different speeds. And I know Donaldson's kind of a heavier back. The Green kid at quarterback, I like him a lot. He's got a lot of moxie. It just seemed, I know Houston, we know the fertile recruiting ground that's there. You could recruit the city of Houston and be fine for all three major sports. But it just looked to me like West Virginia is slow. Like, I'm amazed that they've won as many as they have this year, and the back end of their schedule is lighter. But the athlete and speed difference, that's what I think it is. I mean, is he the greatest recruiter? Obviously not. It was just, I could tell a huge difference in the speed between Houston and the speed between West Virginia.
All right, let's go to Arc BB. Says Blaine caused the Braves to lose, and everybody knows it. That is not true.
Look, if we're looking for somebody to blame, I'm all on that train.
Me?
We'll blame Blaine.
No way. It's not even close. I was behind Bill the whole time. All right, let's go to MG. Says I thought Jerry Judy was going to be a good player in the NFL, just like all other Bama's receivers. I ain't seen anything yet. What do y'all think has happened?
Well, it's injuries, right? I think maybe
towards ACL.
Which has slowed him down. Look, when you get taken in the first round, obviously the expectations are really high. And then, the point that he brought up, look at all the other Bama wide receivers that are balling out right now, even the young ones who just got in the league. I think it's been a combination of injuries and maybe he isn't exactly as crisp as the other guys are. I mean, when you look at these other wide receivers that have come out of Bama, I mean, look at a guy like Devontae Smith, for example. Devontae Smith's really athletic. Is he the most athletic guy there is? No. I think Jamison Williams is more athletic than Devontae Smith, but he is such an elite route runner. Like, he has such good feel, and he has humongous hands. If you've ever seen Devontae Smith's hands, they are huge for his body. But I just think Jerry Judy is a great athlete. Like Amari Cooper, great athlete, technician, right? Technician. Julio, great athlete, technician.
Calvin Ridley.
Like Calvin Ridley. I mean, and I just don't think Jerry Judy is as refined as.
Well, I don't think Jerry Judy is the same after that injury. Jerry Judy was a straight line guy. Like Jerry Judy was almost J-Mo-ish type, but J-Mo could fly. I think Devontae Smith is more athletic than J-Mo. I think J-Mo's just a speed guy. Devontae Smith bag is deep. He's not super fast, but he can get 10 yards extremely quick. Like, there's not a route he can't run. There's not a ball he can't catch. I think Devontae Smith's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying, again, being the best athlete and being the best receiver, this, are two different things. I think if you lined up and run a 40, Jamison Williams beat Devontae Smith. I think if you lined up and they did a shuttle, Jamison Williams beat Devontae Smith. I think if you did a 40-inch, if you did a vertical measurement, I think Jamison Williams is jumping higher probably than Devontae Smith. But that doesn't mean that he's a better receiver than Devontae Smith. I just think he's more athletic.
The vertical, I don't know. Devontae Smith is jumping out of the gym. Absolutely.
And he's really long armed.
Yeah,
Devontae Smith is
slender.
long.
He's basically a slender. But Devontae Smith is one of the guys who could stand up and fix his knee pad at the same time. If you ever see that in the receiver, you're in trouble.
Exactly right. All right. We got phone calls. Line opens at 7:15 a.m. Central. That's 8:15 a.m. Eastern. It's a little keys to victory, though.
Keys to victory. How about Missouri at Kentucky?
You know, this game is probably not getting talked about enough.
Might be the best game all weekend.
I agree with that. I think this could be an overtime, 2-3 overtime. We're starting to just go running plays at the 2 type game because you have two teams that are upset, but they're two different types of upset. Missouri, I think, is more let down and disappointed for the way that LSU game ended when they were up 22-7. Let LSU come back. Big game at home. Could have moved you to 6-0 and really shot you up and had a chance to keep you in the SEC East race even more. I don't think they're beating Georgia this year. I believe they go to Athens.
They do.
Kentucky got embarrassed against Georgia. You know, a lot of people are saying Kentucky, hey, this team, you know, and to give Liam Cohen credit, the OC, Kentucky had some guys open early in that game. Devin Leary missed a lot of open throws. There were some yards there to be had in the pass game. I thought they did a great job. Liam always does with motion. We talked about that before the game. You're going to have to find a way to get Georgia's eyes going left and right because Devin Leary can't run, and that's where Georgia's been hurt in the run game. But when I watch this, I think Kentucky's going to be able to run the ball well against Missouri, even though Missouri's a lot better against the run than they are against the pass, which is going to open the play-action game. The interesting part is for Missouri on offense, how healthy is Schrader? Apparently he's got a quad, but he had a quad last game and ran through LSU like the plague. And then how will Kentucky be able to stop Luther Burden with the way that Drink puts him in position, puts him in the slot, puts him outside, motions him out, puts him in the backfield, do things like that. I'm not betting this game. I'm not touching. I actually like the over. I think it's 51.5 in this game.
Too.
But it's hard for me to sit here. I'll take Kentucky if I had to, but I think this one, David, could be it's a toss-up. It's a pick-em.
How about you?
I'm leaning Missouri in this game. I think what you saw defense. I don't think Missouri's phenomenal on defense, but I think LSU is elite on offense.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky, Devin Leary. He just hasn't looked like the same guy since that 1 year at NC State. I don't know if it's the pec, if it's still messed up, but he is missing throws that are open. You go back to that first drive in Georgia, he missed a good amount of balls. But I'm telling you, this Missouri team is just better than Kentucky. I think Brady Cook is playing phenomenal, right? Schrader's playing great. You have an NFL receiver in Luther Burden. And you got a couple other guys on that offense.
Weiss is good. I like that.
Who are pretty damn good. And I think this is going to be the difference with this Missouri team this year. After they do get let down in a loss like this, they don't let it affect their entire season, right? They bounce back against Kentucky. Then you have South Carolina the week after that. You still have Georgia and Tennessee, but then you have Arkansas at the end. You have Florida at the end. Missouri can lose 2 games this year, or 3 games this year. They lose Tennessee and Georgia and win this game. South Carolina will be a toss-up. I'd take the over in that too. But if I had to lean a team that's playing better football right now, I would have to go with Missouri.
I agree. All right, Texas A&M at Tennessee. -3, 54.5 is the line.
Well, it's again, and we hit this the other day as well. The key to victory for Tennessee is, can Joe Milton hit open receivers? I mean, can he make the routine throws routine? There's going to be yards to be had against A&M's secondary. I think A&M, like they usually do, I consider make the argument that against the run, the front 7 for A&M is the best in the country. I think you can make that argument and it'd be correct. If you turn the tape on and watch these guys, it's like an 18-car pileup every time they sense any sort of run game to them. Now, pass rush, they're not as elite in the pass rush as they are against the run. But I think if any offense could pierce this Texas A&M front 7, it's this style of offense that goes really, really fast, that has the RPO angle to it, that you're able to spit it out, make guys tackle in space. Not that you're going to get a lot, but maybe get enough. And this Tennessee team, I saw a number yesterday. They have 10 explosive pass plays up to this point. You know how many they had up to this point last year?
30.
A lot more.
55.
Jesus.
It's a totally different team. Not that they weren't run first last year, but they're not getting those explosives down the field. And that's a combination of things. They lost an NFL talent at wide receiver. Joe Milton's not Hendon Hooker. But if Joe Milton can make the routine throws routine, because I think Squirrel White and those guys can get open, Tennessee will be able to score enough to win this game. If he doesn't, and it gets bogged down like it possibly could, A&M, I think, eventually will break that dam on the Tennessee defense and put up some points. But I think this comes down to Joe Milton making the routine throws routine, man.
So what about the other side of it? What about Max Johnson, Texas A&M offense against the Tennessee defense?
But right now, one, you have to protect them. All right, you have to protect them. I think they're going to do a better job. I don't think the front seven for Tennessee's close to where Bama is, especially the guys on the defensive line. You're going to have to protect them. And we're going to play a game of how many times can we get it to Anais Smith and Moose Muhammad? You have to get your best players the ball. Go back to that Florida game. Tennessee got their ass whooped up front against Florida. Got whooped up bad. If you can start early, if Bobby can stay on schedule, if we can get in 2nd and 5s, right? Third and 4 or less. If we can stay on time, Texas A&M should be good because I think outside at receiver, they're good enough to play, to have success against Tennessee's DBs. And if it's me, I'm working backwards a little bit. I really am. I'm throwing the pass to open up the run. I think you need to hold on to the ball, and your time of possession will be big in this game for Texas A&M because I do think Tennessee's a running football team now. They're averaging 220 yards on the ground.
You got 3 backs, 3 legit backs.
A game. And Texas A&M has been one of the best teams in the nation to stop at the run. So if I'm Texas A&M, I'm winning time of possession. All right, we're staying on schedule. I'm using the pass to open up the run. And if you can do that, I'm getting my best players the balls, as many receptions and targets as they can. And if I can stop the run, Texas A&M, you just want to be in this game close to the 4th because it's really hard to win in Tennessee.
Over, under on pass attempts from Max Johnson to his brother.
It should not be more than 5.
I was thinking 5 and a half.
It should not be more than 5.
All right, UCLA at Oregon State.
I tell you what, if you had ever told me that UCLA versus Oregon State would be an old school defensive showdown, I would have looked at you, pointed, and laughed. But UCLA at this point, I mean, we got to be honest, they got one of the best defenses in the country. Their stop rate, I think, is top 3, top 5. Chip Kelly is winning in a way that he did not design this team to win. I think the key for Oregon State is they can't get frustrated early if the run's not working. I still think DJU is basically the same guy. I think Oregon State's a much better fit for him than Clemson was in the offense and the style that Jonathan Smith's able to develop quarterbacks like we've seen in the past. I mean, heck, he was one at Oregon State. But if you're not able to run the ball early against UCLA, I don't think you try and turn DJU into Drew Brees. I don't think you start throwing the ball around because I believe Oregon State's going to be able to stop UCLA. It seems to me that Chip Kelly is running somewhat of a watered-down version of the offense. It's a quarterback that, if Dante Moore, the young quarterback, was older, he'd open it up a little bit more. He understands he needs to win games defensively and not let the offense put the defense in bad position, number one, or have just absolutely killer turnovers that turn into touchdowns. So if Oregon State can remain patient with the run, I believe they can stop them on defense. And when it comes to UCLA, Dante Moore running the ball, like he's a really good athlete. And I know a lot of young quarterbacks that are really good athletes want to prove that they're throwers, like they're passers, right? That I'm not just some athlete that's going to run around. I can stay in the pocket. I can pass it. I watched Donovan Smith from Houston do it. But Dante Moore, when it's available to run, when he recognizes that it's man coverage and he can escape through the pocket, instead of trying to make that NFL throw, take off, go get the first down. And I love Carson Steele.
Well, God, man, the more you look at this game, the more I just like UCLA. I really do, because at the end of the day, when it comes to college football, what travels? Defense travels. And literally, Washington State coach Jake Dicker, you know what he called UCLA's defense? Creatures. They're big, they're long, they're fast, they're smart, and they can get after the passer. I think it's going to be I don't think the over is going to hit in this game. I think it's kind of tricky, though, because I think UCLA is going to have success against this Oregon State defense.
You don't believe in the Oregon State defense, do you?
Why would you? You've got 42 dropped on you by Cal. You got 38 plus dropped on you by Washington State.
Yeah, UCLA
just played Washington State and gave up 12 points.
Wisconsin gave up 50 to them on the road up in Pullman. Pullman's a tough place to play. The Cal one's the one that's the misnomer to me. Like I've watched Cal play. Were you looking ahead? But I'm not Cam Ward in Washington State up there, especially playing at home. I mean, that's a tough spot. And that offense, that's what makes what UCLA did last week so impressive.
I mean, you're almost giving up 350 yards a game, Oregon State's defense. I mean, so I can only go based off what I've seen from Oregon State, and it's not the same Jonathan Smith defense we're used to seeing. It's not.
Feels like a field goal game.
Yeah.
Does. I like one of your picks in locks, leans, and dogs, too, that has to do with this game.
All right, Miami, North Carolina. We are robbed of this being an undefeated matchup, but 4-1 Miami will go to unbeaten North Carolina.
I mean, I think if you're North Carolina, obviously the key is you got to get to Tyler Van Dyke. You can't give him time in the pocket. We saw what happened against A&M with him and Restrepo doing the 1-2 step all over A&M secondary. Van Dyke is a guy that when he is able to read it, he's going to make the right decision 85-90% of the time. He's just seen it all. I think the difference in North Carolina, and I agree with you, Flamin' Dragon, is that this defense, while it's not elite, you get 9 sacks in the first game against South Carolina. They're getting home. Compared to what did they have, like 18 sacks all of last year? It was insane. It was one of the most disappointing defensive performances that we've seen. But it does feel like this team is a little bit more edgy, right? It's a little bit more physical. They want the contact a little bit more. That's why I think North Carolina wins, and they have Drake May. I'm just wondering, David, I don't know if you're a Miami player, how you can really trust this coaching staff. Like when it goes bad, like is it just going to roll off the cliff? I mean, it was so egregious last week. I can't get over it, man. If I can't get over it, I want the one in there shooting with them in the gym all off season.
I know.
Like I like North Carolina. It may be big. North Carolina gets up early in this game, they may roll them. It's either that or Miami's going to win. It's one of those two. It's the opposite ends of the spectrum. Either Miami's super pissed off and plays unbelievable, or they just mail it in after North Carolina gets up, and North Carolina just rolls the windows down and crew-hoo.
100% it will affect this weekend, that decision last weekend.
Yeah.
How will it affect it?
Yeah.
They circle the wagons and just go and just thrash North Carolina? That could happen. Let's see what type of team they're made of. Or does it affect them the other way, and you're like, man, the trust is broken?
I think they get up to play. I really think they do. I think, like, you're about to see 2 high-level quarterback play in this game now. I mean, the quarterback for Miami, Van Dyke, he's nice too. Like, and they got a couple. Restrepo's the NFL guy. The other kid they have is the NFL kid. I do think North Carolina wins this game, but you're going to see, I think the defense have gotten better. Miami's defense is better than North Carolina's, but North Carolina's defense has taken steps. Got a couple guys up front who's good, but you're about to see some points get put on the board.
Yeah, like getting up for the game, like to me, I'm not worried if Miami's going to be excited to play. I mean, they've heard this all week. You get in, hey, everybody gets together. Let's circle the wagons. People are doubting us. That's on me. That's on me. You guys are doing. Not to get up to play, but what happens if it goes bad early? That's my thing. Getting up to play is one thing. Watching the ball roll downhill and then being like, oh, well, we didn't even know when to take a knee, so, who really cares? I'm going to the league anyway. Like, that's the part of me. I'm like, I don't know.
All right, USC at Notre Dame.
I think it's time of possession for Notre Dame. That's the key. Time of possession. Not that you don't take shots, not that you don't try and hit explosives, but it's tough to get beat by Caleb Williams when he's not on the field. And I think you play a game of how many times can USC score in 8 possessions? That's what I think you do, because I think Notre Dame's going to be able to move the ball. I think Notre Dame scored 30 points in this game. You score 34 points if you're Notre Dame. You let USC score on half those possessions, and I'm not even talking about all touchdowns, you win the game. But what worries me is Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter if they're down, especially with Branch, coming back, I believe, and the guys they have on the outside, and Marshawn Lloyd, the transfer in. I think time of possession is the key for Notre Dame in this game.
It doesn't just feels like a game Caleb Williams just freaks out. It just freaks out. Like, look, they want him to win another Heisman. They want the back-to-back.
Who's they?
Deep down, the people behind college football.
The deep state,
the no names,
the deep state of the college
they
football.
They want him to win it. Like, look, Notre Dame's got a better football team all around. They do, but the better team doesn't always win. I mean, and I think from a skill position wise, I think USC's a lot better. And if you're Notre Dame defensively, what's your game plan? The offensive line hadn't been great for USC. Do you just try to get there with Forrest in the shell, or do you come get Caleb? If you try to come get Caleb, you better get him.
You got to. I think
you better get him.
You got to throw different.
Because if you don't get him, it's going to be a lot of dancing around, blowing on his nails, and throwing touchdown passes. Yeah. All right. So I like USC in this football game. And another key note, I would say, Notre Dame on third down is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Right. That was the difference in the Louisville game. You went 3 for 13 on third downs, and I think 7 of those third downs you didn't get were like 3rd and 3 or less. Mm-hmm. All right. If you do that against USC, Notre Dame's not built to come back. I know they came back against Duke. All right. But this isn't Duke. All right. These boys can put some points up, and they can put some points up.
Well, they came back against the Buckeyes, too. They were down 10. They were efficient on third down in that game. But 2 fourth downs not converted.
Yeah.
One converted but called back. A missed field goal, I think.
And I think Kyle was has a long way to go, especially with that offense. The Ohio State's defense has been saving Ohio State this year, especially go back and watch that Maryland game. But that ain't going to happen against this game. If you get behind on these kids, if you get down 14 against USC, they're going to start rolling.
You think so? Look what they did against Colorado, though.
Yeah,
they got up huge against Colorado.
You go back and watch that game. It was just weird. They're up 45-14 in the fourth quarter or something like that, and just complete, like, Lincoln, run the ball. Just run the ball. I think they're past that for Caleb.
Well, I look more at that Arizona game last week, man. Like, I've watched
Arizona's a good team.
Arizona played with their backup quarterback. I mean, Arizona went to Mississippi State and lost. Like, I've watched Arizona play a lot of games. This is not a great football. If Jaden DeLora plays in that game against USC, I think, and there was a couple questionable calls in that game as well, I think Arizona may win this one. The problem, I think, with USC is I don't think the defense will be able to get off the field. That's the problem. Like, it's one thing if it's a track meet and you're just back and forth. Hey, it's 48-45 USC. They can win that type game. If this game is a 27-21, 27-24 type game, that does not bode well for USC and the way that they play. That's why I just think tempo in this game is so important, because if this game, I think Caleb Williams likes to get out there and go. Like, I don't think Caleb Williams likes to get out there and sit. What USC's
tempo rate is this year.
Sit. I'm not even talking about how fast they go when they're out there. I'm talking about when he gets that next possession. He's just like any good quarterback. He's a rhythm jump shooter. Once he gets in that rhythm and he starts getting out there and they're running more plays and plays, that's what Jaden Daniels and LSU does. That's why I keep saying, don't get in a track meet with LSU. They want to be on the field offensively. Because they know that's all they got. They're a one-trick pony, and it's a hell of a trick. I think tempo in this game is massive. You throw them off, you slow it down, you throw the jump shooter off rhythm.
All right, last one. Oregon at Washington.
Like I've said all week, I think this game comes down to Washington's defense. You know, because I think Oregon's an elite team and Washington's an elite offense, at least to this point. I mean, with Washington's defense, it's trust but verify. Like, I think Oregon can go up there and not play their best offensively and still win the game. If Washington doesn't play their best offensively, I don't know if Washington can win the game, because I don't think they can stop Oregon consistently enough. That's what I think the difference in this is. So how do you equalize that? You score a touchdown on special teams, score a touchdown on defense. If Washington can make Bo Nix one-dimensional and make Bo Nix beat them through the air, because Oregon, make no mistake, Dan Lanning wants to run the ball. Dan Lanning's trying to build an SEC team out in Oregon, and he's done a really good job of it. You got to make Bo Nix one-dimensional, and I know they got Franklin, I know they got Bucky Irving, all these guys running around out there at the skill position, but if you make them one-dimensional, I think you can stop them enough, and Washington's offense is good enough. But Oregon tackles so well in space defensively, I don't think you're going to see those short or intermediate passes that go for these huge explosive plays that Washington banks on. They run it less than 40% of the time. They want to pass, use the run as a counter. I think Oregon's a complete team.
I think this is why you brought in Dan Lanning to win games like this. You brought in Dan Lanning to neutralize an offense like this with the defense that you have. And I think balance keeps you on the beam. If you're Oregon, they're a lot more balanced football team. They're giving them 153 yards a game on defense, which is pretty damn solid if you ask me. I think this game's going to be close. It's obviously going to be high scoring. But, you know, I just go back to what Bo Nix can do with his feet, especially on third downs, man. If Bo Nix can get outside the pocket, create, that's when Bo's at his best. All right, when he's creating. You go back to when he was at Auburn, his best huge plays was him creating outside the pocket, especially on third down. So give me Oregon. It's going to be close. It might be a field goal game. I wouldn't be surprised. But you brought Danny Lanning to win these games. And Bucky Irvin needs to get some carries. All right, the kid's cold. He hadn't had more than 13 carries in a game all year. All right, let Bucky get going a little bit.
Yeah, Bucky's nice. I like Oregon on the money line. If you got skin in the game, that's good.
But what's it going off? 120? It's plus 124, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was plus 132 last time I saw it. It may be plus 124 now. But speaking of skin, all right, our partners over at Geniucell, one of our favorite sponsors of the show, skincare for men and women. All right, they've got an incredible deal, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But if you have sunspots, dark spots, anything going wrong with your skin, the dark spot corrector can wash those blemishes away and make them disappear in front of your very eyes. You have bags under your eyes, right? It looks like you're carrying luggage in the airport, but under your eyes, it helps fix that too, and it's almost 70% off. And Geniucell is so confident in their products. Listen to this now. You can try them for yourself completely risk-free, and if you don't see results in one day, you'll get your money back. But you're going to see results. It's going to be a ton of results. It's like getting a test back. We've used it. Our family members have used it. The Booster Club sold them out last time. We want to do that again. So go to Geniucell.com GENUCEL.com/booster. That's GENUCEL.com/booster. Start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow. Say hello to the best skin you've ever had at GENUCEL.com/booster. It's GENUCEL.com/booster. It's a great Christmas gift, fellas. Great Christmas gift.
Yep.
All right, I'm just telling you. And you get it for 70% off. It's basically free. Speaking about free, it's been free money with locks, liens, and dogs. 23-13 in locks. Seatbelt.
Notre Dame last week. Do your
Seatbelt.
job.
Like 20.
Do your job, Sam.
23-15 in liens, something like that. So we do this every Friday. Every Friday. Went 5-1 last weekend.
My bad, guys. That's all me. Won't happen again.
It's all good. You took Notre Dame and Louisville. That wasn't a bad bet. Wasn't a bad bet. Here's what I got. Look, I trust in South Carolina at home. I don't trust in Florida on the road. I think South Carolina, even though they're off on the front seven, they find a way to slow down that run game of Florida. Grant Mertz struggles a little bit. Special teams touchdown. This is the game for Shane Beamer where the special teams are extra special. Give me South Carolina -2.5 at home. That's at -110. I locked that in as a show bet for the weekend as well. Then Ohio State -19. Why not?
Purdue. Correct.
At Purdue, I don't think they're stopping Marvin Harrison Jr. This offense, I don't think it's even close. And Ohio State, the best part about their team is defensively.
Yeah.
The defense is the best part of their team. Purdue, how about Purdue? Give me Ohio State -19. Then my leans, they're a wagon.
Hey,
Rock me, baby, like a wagon wheel. James Madison. I'm sorry, David. I know you're from Statesboro, but I'm about making money, not making friends.
I actually like that bet. I'd look at the over, too.
I don't think it's a bad idea. 58.5, I think it was, something like that.
Quickly, the amount of people that hit me up about that Ghost Pirate jersey would blow your mind, dude.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Who was hitting you up about it?
Like, I had 11 people hit me up about going to buy one of these jerseys.
Tell you the Ghost Pirates. Hey, man. Yeah.
They start giving you
this way.
percentages, dog.
Yeah. So give me James Madison -6. This line started at -4.5, I think, and has done nothing but go up. They've been a wagon. I'm betting them until they let me down. Then my sneaky play of the week, Temple at North Texas over 70. Guys,
That's a lot of points.
neither one of these defenses could stop a nosebleed in a nurse's office. Temple, Kurt Warner's son, EJ, out there slinging it around. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, out there seeding the field. And then North Texas offensively went to their backup quarterback. Temple, awful on defense. They made Tulsa look like the Globetrotters. So give me the over in 70. That's at -110. Then my two dogs, Oregon, +124. Yeah, I said it. And then I'm going with Scotty Leffler and the boys. You can go on the road and beat Bowling Green or beat Georgia Tech. You can go on the road and beat Buffalo and then sit in the Bills. Give me Bowling Green +160 as a dog.
I like that. All right, I'm going double unders for my locks again this week. UCLA, Oregon State, under 54, -110 on the odds. We just talked about it. Talked about how good these defenses are. UCLA, they really got my attention when they were playing Utah, but we talked about Nate Johnson playing quarterback at Utah, being a backup. You know, maybe it was an anomaly, but the way they shut down Cam Ward and Washington State was really impressive to me. And then on the other side of that, you know, I hear what you're saying about Oregon State's defense, Blaine, but they still have all the pieces to be a good defense, and Dante Moore's been struggling too. You know, I mean, he's a young guy. I mean, he's going to figure it out. So I don't think it gets anywhere near 54, to be honest. Then also on the flip side of that, Utah-Cal, another Pac-12 matchup. That under is at 45 right now, -110 on the odds. I don't know how close that one gets to hitting that line either. So I'm going to go under there. My leans, Georgia -31.5 against Vanderbilt. Well, Vanderbilt hadn't scored a touchdown against Georgia in 5 seasons, something like that. The question is, how badly does Georgia want to beat Vandy? I know they could cover that. You know, it's just like last week they're playing Kentucky and they hear, oh, this is the second best team in the SEC East. Let's roll them. Do they feel the same type of way? Oregon +3.5. Now, I think the line is +3, but you can get that extra hook right now, and the odds are still -133. To be honest with you, that takes me into my dogs because there's actually 4 dog bets that I like this week. Oregon being one of them, which I know both of you have, but I'm just pointing out that you could get them +3.5. This is going to be a field goal game against Washington. Another dog bet that I like is Missouri that's not on here. I think Missouri, we talked about it, you know. I know you have them. You took them as well, right? I think, Dragon. But the two I am going to go with for my dogs, the 2 Los Angeles schools. UCLA +154. I think you get the most bang for your buck there in terms of the dog bets. And then USC on the road at Notre Dame. Look, the way Notre Dame's a 4th and 16 scramble away from losing the last 3. USC has the Heisman Trophy winner. It's +120 on the odds. I'd look at those for my dog bets.
Great. I love it, Dave. I love it. All right, guys, take my hand. Let's walk together. Give me Georgia. I bought this down a point. All right. It's going off at -30.5. minus 120. You're playing Vanderbilt, and this is the thing when you play teams like this. Georgia and Michigan are about to get in the business of we're rolling. We're about to keep destroying people. Georgia's threes and walk-ons are better than Vandy's starters, all right? So you really don't have to worry about that much of a backdoor cover. You just worry about what Kirby does late in the game, play calling-wise, if he wants to progress guys or not. So that's going off at 30.5, minus 120. Give me Michigan, minus 33.5, minus 120. It shouldn't be 122. That's going off at minus 120. They're playing Indiana at home, I believe. Indiana is terrible. Absolutely terrible. If you saw what PJ Fleck came out and said, this is the deepest, best Michigan team he's seen in his coaching career, and it's another way in the same business. The walk-on and the threes are better than the starters. Let's go to leans, all right? I'm on my Paul Wall stuff. We're leaning. Give me Louisville, minus 6.5, minus 120. You are going to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh, kudos to Jake, all right, is garbage this year. They're absolute trash can. I think Louisville, I think it's close in the first half, but I think when you get in the later in the second half, later in the third quarter, that's when the skill, the athleticism, Thrash, Plummer, and these guys kind of carry away. So give me minus 6.5. FSU at home versus Syracuse. Syracuse just got sunned by North Carolina.
They did.
Absolutely sunned. I'm pretty sure that game was 40-7. I don't think Florida State played phenomenal against Virginia Tech, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think Mike has these guys ready. So give me a minus 16.5. It's going off minus 120. And I'm rolling with the Ducks, baby. Quack, quack, quack. Mighty D formation, Oregon plus 124. I think they're the better football team, the better roster, and they're more balanced. And then, all right, I don't want y'all to think this is just because I'm a fan, okay? This is not. The more I look at this game, I just think it's going to be close in the fourth, all right? I think it's going to be a two-point game, 1 point game, and I feel like we have Little McPherson back there, all right? Little McPherson. Little Mac hits a 55, 56-yarder to win it in LSU. Give me Auburn. I think they're going to control the clock, control time of possession. I think Jaden Daniels makes a couple mistakes this game.
Let that happen.
I think Jaden
Let
Daniels
that
makes
happen.
a couple mistakes this game. Give me Auburn, money line, plus 340. And trust me, it's not because I'm a fan. I think Auburn's actually going to win this football game.
Man, if that happens.
We'd never hear the end of it.
If that happens. Look, I'm so here for it.
I'm going to get called a homer regardless.
No, I'm so here for it. But
Guys,
you know what?
I'm so sorry. We have to play the graphic.
I did.
No,
did you
y'all are
get the
super
segment
late.
out?
They've said it multiple times.
She didn't want to interrupt the segment.
It's
I like
fine.
this segment.
It's fine.
So
Who cares?
chill
Just keep
out.
it going.
All right, so, God, that's my fault. I got to start off on that wrong foot. But let's see if the calls can get us back on the right.
All right, let's go
Now
to
you can't
Nighthawk.
trick us.
Yeah, Nighthawk in Ohio. Set the tone on
Friday
Friday. Set
the
the tone
garage.
here, brother.
Special day.
Oh, it is a special day indeed, boys.
Skyhook.
Today's the
Maddie.
big day. And that big day is, of course, the day before Oregon puts a smack down on Washington.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Tell them what today is.
Today's the day where I get to add a Mrs. Nighthawk to the family.
Yes.
Wedding day.
Congratulations.
Wedding
man.
day.
Yeah.
Skyhook? Skyhook? Just let us know.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
Congrats, man.
And thank you. No, I really appreciate it. And unfortunately, 2 days ago, I did have my best man fall out of the wedding. So if Jake, can you say one of those speeches for me?
I can for you. I'll give you a motivational speech. All right, play the music.
Yeah.
Nighthawk. First off, I want to be the first to say congrats. Adding a new bird to the nest. This is a trust tree. We're all here. Marriage, bringing together of two spirits. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like a great college football matchup, except you play each other every weekend. I know you're excited. I know she is too. Family's going to be there. Your boys are going to be there. Going to be getting down, dancing. And guess what? You may be getting married during football season, but you're in the trust tree. I'm not judging you. I'm not Judas Scheinlin, all right, or any of those other fake judges on TV, but I'm excited for you. Growing the Booster Club, growing the fam. Who knows? Maybe a third's going to be on the way at some point down the road. But take your time, dog. As somebody who's recently married, I love it. It's actually a lot cooler than what people say. So I know she's a good one. I know she's got a good dude. Congrats, Nighthawk.
Congrats, dude.
R1.
Love it, man.
Friday in the garage. There's so many room for activities. Don't forget about
Oh,
me.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, remember where you came from.
Hey, play that right before y'all say y'all's nuptials. Everybody will get hype.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, the whole wedding party is going to be hype. But lastly, just I want to say from words from my favorite philosopher, Tony Perkis.
Yes.
All you need is Mother Earth, Father Sky, and your dear old Nighthawk. Thank you guys so much, and go Ducks.
Hey, we love you too, brother. Congratulations. Go have a great day.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, let's go to Dane in Washington. Dane, what's going on?
Dane?
Hey guys. I have a hot take about Washington.
Do it. Let the arrow fly.
I think they're like the great fastball pitcher. They don't have a good off-speed pitch. I think they're a lot like USC.
Dane, you're speaking my language.
Their defense is horrible. They can't really run, and the only time they run is like once in like every 20 plays.
Yeah, it's under 40%. I want to say this. Let me ask you this, though, Dane. Do you think I think Washington's defense is a little bit better than USC's. I do. Not by a lot. Not by a lot.
I think it's better than USC's, but it's like not by much. Like maybe USC is like a top 100 defense, and Washington is like a top 80 to 90 defense. I think Washington is gonna get exposed in this game.
Man, I hope it's a good game. I just feel like Washington's defense is like being the skinniest kid at fat camp.
Like, I mean, they're not terrible. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're not Stephen Hawking on a marathon. I mean, they're not terrible.
No, their offense is legit. I just don't think they're. I think they face teams that are on bad offenses, and I think they've kind of been able to hide some weaknesses. Against Arizona, they did not look good. I just think this could almost. I think this is going to be a 10-point game. I think Oregon wins 41-31.
I was going to ask for your score. Okay, so the over hits.
And I think if they do not get a couple scores on the board early against that pass defense, I think it can get away from them really, really fast against Oregon.
Dane, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Maybe a 17-point plus if they.
I mean, is there any worry at all? Is there any worry at all that we haven't seen Oregon's defense really get tested yet? I mean, they played Stanford. They gave up 6 points. They played Colorado, gave up 6 points. Hawaii, they played. Portland State. So then Texas Tech is the one. They gave up 30 points. I mean, is there no worry at all?
I think the thing that people aren't talking about, that Texas Tech game, I think it's largely been overblown. We had a lot of stupid penalties that extended drives. And we were facing quite frankly, before he got hurt, NFL caliber quarterback. Like late round NFL quarterback.
This is where I lean on Dan.
How much do you weigh in that Colorado game, Dave? That 42-6 performance if you're Oregon.
I watched every snap of that game, and I'm watching Shedeur Sanders and this Colorado offense freak out against other teams. So I was very impressed with it.
Yeah.
You know, not only what they were doing on defense, but look, I think this Oregon team is one of the most balanced in the country. I'm just sitting here listening to how bad Washington's defense is, and I'm looking down the schedule here at Portland State, Hawaii, Stanford, Colorado, and then I see on the road at Texas Tech, and I see you gave up 30 points. So I'm just asking a question here of
I think it's valid.
Are we like crowning the Ducks defense when we haven't really seen it yet?
I lean on Dan. I lean on Lanning. That's where I think.
I just think this is a bad matchup for Washington. If they could run the ball better, I think running the ball against Oregon is where you attack them, not the passing defense. I don't think that they're going to shut down Washington's offense. I just think they're going to limit them enough and force a couple turnovers because Washington's defense is like USC's defense last year. They create turnovers to get stops. Because they don't turn the ball over that much.
Dane, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting for sure. 41-31, we're locking you in there.
Well, 72 right there. Take it over. Love it.
Good
Love
luck.
Good call, Dane.
Thanks,
He's in
Dane.
enemy territory over there, too.
Oh,
All right, let's go to Zach in Georgia. Zach, what's going on?
Hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, Zach.
Welcome, Zach.
My call sign, I wanted to be chicken fried because my name is Zach Brown.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice.
Sounds so
And
good.
I love when the ones are so well thought out. Like,
Yeah.
You know, unlike mascots in college sports. But go ahead, Zach.
That's what they used to call me on my baseball team. But
Chicken fried?
Anyway.
I bet you could hit.
yeah, I was okay. But I want to talk about Carson Beck. I feel like he's not getting a lot of love nationwide. He's got like over 1,800 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks, 83 QBR rating. He has more passing yards than Caleb Williams. Like, should he get an invite to New York if he continues this?
If Georgia keeps winning and with their schedule, I know they got to go to Tennessee, right? Which that's not going to be a walk in the park, but I don't see any speed bump for them until maybe they get to Atlanta. Carson Beck's numbers right now, he's on pace to have a better year than Stetson Bennett did, I think, in either one of the first 2 years. I just think Carson Beck's not super flashy.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what Carson Beck has that is the most important: time and protection.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Beck is able to sit back in the pocket as long as just about anybody I've seen be able to go through his reads, and he goes through them. He made some throws against Kentucky, too, even when there was some pressure. Moving in the pocket, you can tell he is while he isn't super experienced on the field, you can tell he's an older guy by the way he kind of carries himself a little bit. He doesn't look sped up to me. He doesn't look like it's forced. And you got to think, Ra Thomas and Dominic Lovett really haven't come on yet. Ladd McConkey's just getting healthy, right? And the run game has been good, but it hasn't been elite. I think if Carson keeps doing this and Georgia keeps winning, you will start to see more and more of it, and then he'll have his chances at Tennessee. He'll have his chance in the SEC championship game as well to have those Heisman moments and really launch himself up there. So I think if he just stays the course, then eventually he'll get there. But the way they're going about it and the protection he has, I mean, it must be a lot of fun to play quarterback.
He won't get invited to New York, I don't think, because Brock Bowers will block him.
There's
out
one
of
guy
the
who should get
category.
invited to New York.
And as far as the disrespect, it happens a lot of times when the quarterback isn't necessarily the best player on a team that's full of really great guys. We see it with the 49ers right now. People are refusing to put respect on Brock Purdy's name because the rest of that roster is so elite. We saw it with Stetson Bennett the last couple of years. It's kind of unfortunate, especially when you look at these guys and you're like, man, they really can play. But you know what? What's more important is just winning. So I'm sure Carson Beck
Not
would just
turn the ball over.
rather just keep winning the same way Stetson Bennett did.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And then what about Orlando Arcia? Can we get him off the team?
Dude.
Did you see that video?
Yes. He's over in the dugout, like talking back to fans, like giving them like the after what you said about Bryce Harper. It's what, dog, you're not good enough to be doing this. Like that's my thing. Get him out. Get him out. I would rather watch Von Grissom go up there than watch Orlando Arcia do what he did in the dugout. In the biggest game of the year, a must-win game, you can't focus enough on the game. You got to turn around and talk to the fans and like interact with the fans in a joking manner and point, oh, you got a ring and all this stuff. I'm with you, man. Was that not very off-putting? Like, it was just really off-putting watching the way he behaved.
Yeah. I want him off the team immediately. I know he probably won't be, but I want him off the team. If you can't handle a heckling, I don't want him on the team.
And you're making that type of money? Heckle
if you're going to do it, like, you better show up, dog. Like, if you're going to start talking ish, you better show up. Because you started talking ish, then one guy showed up. He had long hair and was dropping tanks.
And staring you down as he crossed second base.
So, I mean, it's just saying.
Zach, call in again, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Zach. Chicken fried.
Chicken fried.
All right, let's go to Leroy in Alabama.
Leroy.
What a happy day.
Oh, man.
Ah, Leroy, spit your game, son.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Y'all doing all right this morning?
No.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
I'm
look,
doing great,
doing
Leroy.
far from all right,
Thank God it's
Leroy.
Friday.
Look, Yankees and Braves fans in there, I want to give you some encouragement. I'm a Cubs fan. I know what the pain is like. I know what it's like to live through the pain. Here's the deal, though. I'm also a Rangers fan. So, David, hold your head up. because
Yes.
you're allowed to like two teams at once. Okay.
Thank you.
No, you're not.
He's by team.
You can like
Just
two
when I
teams,
thought
but
this
you can't
Friday-
root for two teams.
He's by team.
Just when I thought this Friday was
Hey,
shot,
Jay-
Leroy goes and calls in like that, gives me some.
Good God,
encouragement.
Cone, I just
Golly,
wish
that's
I
what
could
I
do
need
what
Hey,
you do. dude.
you can pull for two teams at once, David, because last time I checked my watch, it still said America.
That's exactly.
Wow, this guy.
Well, hey, who are you
God.
pulling for other than America? What are your two countries you rooting for?
He's a
bud?
big Switzerland guy.
Yeah.
He said teams. Don't go at Leroy like that.
Hey,
This is
don't
Team
Leroy, I'm
America.
gonna hold it
Hey,
down
don't
for you.
Dr. Strange.
I'm gonna hold it down for you on the
Hey,
set.
doing the
Leroy.
Dr.
Don't Dr.
Hey.
Strange. me.
Don't start going in a circle. Wait till my chair's levitating.
Hey, I got you. It's America and the Kingdom of God. Let's go.
There you go.
Wow, those
I
are
rep
two
it.
really good
There you go.
teams.
So you
I
root
feel
for
so much
Michigan and
better.
Bama.
Hey, look, my other team is actually the Rangers. My dad was he's from south of Dallas.
There you
He
go.
was a lifelong Rangers fan. He moved to Tennessee for work and met my mom. And the only baseball they could watch was Harry Carey calling Cubs games on WGN. They both became big-time Cubs fans also. And so back in 2016, in January, my wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. And come October, the Cubs finally broke the curse and won it all.
Wow.
Wow,
Dude, that's
So
amazing.
That's
That's-
crazy.
That's
Back
awesome.
in
So
March, my
so
wife gave birth.
good.
Yeah, back in March, my wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy.
That's like
And
Ace,
so
right?
maybe, just maybe, we can trust the signs, and it's the Rangers' year this year.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Your first child that was born within 6 months had experienced more Cubs, the same amount of Cubs World Championships as like 100 years, like a generation before that. That's isn't that wild?
Insane?
That's wild.
And no one on planet Earth has ever experienced a Rangers World Series. So
That's exactly right.
It's time.
There's an alternate
It's
universe
time.
that's going on running
Just not the
parallel ours where the
Astros,
Rangers
please.
are the Astros.
Please not the Astros. I'm so sick of it.
I want a Rangers Diamondbacks
too.
World Series. That's what I want. Rangers Diamondbacks.
me too. Because I'm gonna tell you, Houston, they are a problem.
Oh yeah, they are.
that 6 day off wild card first round bye really affects the Astros, huh? No, that's a legitimate ball club.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that shows up to play and doesn't make excuses.
Someone's like, if you're a Diamondback fan, someone send me a Craig Biggio jersey. I want it.
Oh, Biggio? Biggio was with no.
Did he play short for them?
No, Craig Biggio
Or
played
second?
for the Astros.
Astros.
Yeah.
Did he not play for the
Now, I'll
Diamondbacks
say
at all?
I had another.
You thinking of
son
Craig
that was born in
Counsell?
2020.
Craig Counsell.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I had another son that was born in 2020, and so all I can say is I'm just going to have to watch that kid. So
Yeah.
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 It's just turns.
He's up to something.
Yeah, it turns into the Joker. But
Appreciate it,
Leroy,
Leroy.
thank
appreciate it, guys. Y'all have
Congrats,
a happy day.
man.
Leroy, you
Congrats,
too,
brother.
brother.
Man.
Thank you, buddy.
God bless you. Let's go to Mike in Colorado.
Mikey.
Mm.
Mike.
Hey, morning, boys.
Morning.
Morning.
You, sir.
Sorry, I missed you for the last couple of weeks. We were on the West Coast, and I couldn't get myself up. At
Well, I've been
4:30.
meaning to call you about that. I've been
Don't
super
worry.
disappointed.
I've been watching you
we're
this
glad
whole
you-
time.
Yeah, Blaine watched you the whole time. Seems like you guys had a great time.
Yeah.
Well, it had nothing to do with the 42-6, 41-48. But now that we knocked off Arizona State, looks like we're favored over Stanford. My question for you guys is, where can the Buffs find another win this season to get to that bowl eligibility and apparently play in the Peach Bowl as we're being talked about now?
Yeah.
I saw that.
I think it's Arizona.
Yeah, I got the schedule right here.
Yeah,
Arizona.
it's tonight, obviously.
Stanford.
It's
Yes,
all
Stanford at
ranked
home.
teams
You're
right
11.
now.
You're 11 and a half point favorite in this game.
Yep.
You go to UCLA. I don't think you win that game. You have Oregon State at home. I don't think you win that game. You have Arizona at home. You have a chance to win that game,
Yep.
100%. You go to Washington State. Tough. You go to Utah at the end of the year. That's a winnable football game.
I think it's got to be Arizona.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be.
And tonight.
Well, yeah, just kind of time. Mike, it's got to be Arizona. I mean,
So you
The-
don't think
you-
I should buy my tickets to Atlanta yet?
well, look, you want to go to the SEC championship?
Well, look,
they're
at
playing
this
a couple
point-
games. They're
No,
playing
for
a
the
couple
Peach Bowl.
games in
No.
Atlanta.
At this point, they may just change the rules for Dion.
Yeah.
You don't even have to win 6 games. They'll just put you in the Peach
You won
Bowl
the first
anyway.
3, you're in.
Yeah, you're already in.
Yeah.
Buy those
Right.
tickets.
I mean, the hype was real.
Look, they'd get a lot. It'd be the most hyped up Peach Bowl we've seen in a while.
I mean, one guy had Colorado winning 6 games this year.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no, you didn't. You said they could win 5.
I believe in playing.
We did a schedule.
Could win 5.
I had him winning 5 games.
We have we have
the graphic.
We have
5
a
or
graphic.
6. I can't remember.
We have a graphic in the
We did the prediction
in the Pac-12. But to me, Mike, it's got to be Stanford and Arizona. Like if we're going to sit here and say outside of upsets,
no way they can sneak one against Utah at the end of the year.
Nah, I just think Utah's too good on defense. Like I think I just don't trust Colorado's offensive line.
Is Travis Hunter back this week?
And if Utah don't score against anybody,
Travis is back this week.
Okay.
Yeah, Travis is back this week. They'll get Slusher back toward the end of the season. I think that secondary is coming around now that Cormani's in there.
Mm-hmm.
You get Cormani and
I'm not worried about your skill position, Mike.
ECU, Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm not worried about your skill
State.
position even on defense. It's up front.
Yeah.
That takes time. The problem.
And that
takes the most time. Waiting is the hardest part. I think that was Aristotle that said that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a first season in the Big 12 next year. See if they can make some noise. I think that'll be a better lineup for them anyway.
Hopefully, it goes better than
the transfer portal is going to be extremely interesting for Colorado. They're going to
rack up. They'll rack up. Thank you, Mike.
Great call, Mikey.
Mike.
Yeah.
All right, John in Savannah, Georgia. John, what's up?
Good morning, Crane & Co. How are you, gentlemen?
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, John?
Oh, well, Savannah, raining, 75 degrees, living the life.
Love it. Love it.
Country song.
Yeah. So, guys, we're halfway through the college football season. New clock rule. Love it, hate it, or indifferent?
Look, it's obviously had an effect, but, when everybody has to go through it, I don't think, you say that teams that, run the ball, that want to play slower, it helps, which I can understand that. I've got no problem with it.
I don't either.
I haven't really felt it that much watching games. I haven't really felt the difference.
Because you're watching so many games at once, though, probably.
That is probably true.
That's probably right. I think if we just sat down and watched one game, we'd feel it more. I don't hate it either. I don't really have a problem with it and never would have because we already have a version of football that has this, the NFL. I'm just a little bit cynical because I know the reasons behind it to squeeze in more ads and keep the games the same length. Yeah. But apart from that, the on-the-field version of it doesn't bother me at all.
How much has it affected up-tempo teams, though? Because you have less plays, obviously.
I think what it's done is now if you're an up-tempo team, you're so worried that it used to be like, all right, hey, if we go really fast, the main worry we have is that the defense is going to get tired. Now, with the new clock rule, it's limiting possessions. So if you go out there and you go 3 and out 3 times in a row, and that other team just sits on the ball and runs it, you could have 4 possessions. I've seen guys have 4 possessions.
The average of teams are having 7 less plays a game.
It's like 6 to 8, somewhere around there. Just depending on how you
I think the biggest number it'll affect is 4th down attempts.
Yeah.
Teams are going to go for it on 4th down more, which we're already seeing that from an analytics thing. This is only going to exacerbate that.
Yeah. That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about it. Great question, John.
If you guys like those Ghost Pirates jerseys, you need to look at the black and the green ones.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Artie, look. I got blown up.
The first thing we did after we got off the call with you yesterday is he looked up the black.
They're fire, bro. They're fire.
I like the black and the white ones more than the green ones, but they're all pretty sick.
Yeah, that's such a dope nickname. That's such like a
Savannah Ghost Pirates, man.
Better than
they
the bananas.
do a lot of promos with like special edition jerseys. Like we had an Army edition one that was that black camo and like a Black Panther themed one. But they do a lot of cool stuff.
Have I just been a Ghost Pirates fan my whole life and just didn't realize
And you're always talking about mascots being relevant to the city they're in. Like Savannah has all these ghost tours they go on, like on the water.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you get great mascots.
It's like Little New Orleans, like the voodoo element.
Yeah,
so Ghost Pirates is perfect for Savannah.
That is perfect.
We got to go catch a game sometime.
Spread the word of the Ghost Pirates because this town needed something way more than the Savannah Banana.
Yeah,
you tell them we're talking about them now.
Yeah, hey, we'll turn this into a Scooby-Doo episode.
Savannah Bananas isn't cutting it for me, John. It's the Savannah Sand Gnats for me.
Yeah.
When I moved down here, the Sand Gnats, Thirsty Thursdays, that's where it was at. And they went away and the Bananas go. It's crazy. You can't get tickets. It's sold out.
I know. It's popular, man.
That's because we're in society, we're getting dumber.
Yeah. It's a musical.
Cardi B's concerts are sold out, too.
If I want to watch guys do TikToks and paint their nails, I just watch USC play.
To show you how important this hockey has been, we set an ECHL record for when a new team opens up. was the largest season ticket holders ever.
Hey, nobody
in South Georgia.
Nobody,
on,
nobody
man.
does. Nobody does new teams and expansion teams better than the NHL. Not even close. John, thanks, man.
Great call, man.
I love it. All right, boys. Hey, Josh. We got Josh on the line. You got 30 seconds, man.
30 seconds.
We're running out of time.
All right. I'm gonna go speed run really quick. I'm going to the UNC Miami game this weekend.
Yes. Let's go.
Fun.
Yeah.
Great game. And also, I play 6 sports bets thanks to Flamin' Dragon. He hooked me up. These sports bets are sponsored by his bookie. So give me Michigan minus 33 versus Indiana, FSU minus 16.5 versus Syracuse, Georgia minus 31.5 versus Vandy, UCLA money line, Oregon State, Missouri, Kentucky over 50.5, Louisville minus 6.5 versus Pitt.
Let's go, Josh!
Is that parlayed or is that all different bets?
No, they're all straight bets. I'm not parlaying this weekend.
Okay.
I might
See, like, why would you not though just parlay them all and put $10 on it? Like, do them straight bets. That's
Josh,
fine,
I'll send you a smooth 50 to parlay those games. I'll hit up the bookie and tell him to throw you 50 free play to get you those parlays.
Let me get 50.
Okay.
All right, if you do
while we're giving out 50,
I'll do it.
But for the people who can't bet in states, like, I feel extremely bad.
Blake's over here running a black market gambling operation live on the show.
This episode's coming down.
Yeah, he's like, hey, if you want to smuggle liquor into Indiana, call this number.
I'm a man of the
Thursday
people.
already?
All right, I'm a man of the people. I refuse to let y'all be pushed down and not be able to bet football games or any sports games. Just hit me up. I got you.
God forbid they do something good with their money.
Yes, sir.
Big weekend, Josh. Big weekend, Josh.
Hey, have fun at that game, man.
That's gonna be a hell of a
Send
time.
us pics.
I want to go to Chapel Hill. I've never been. All right, I'm headed over to the board.
Board of trust and truth, forgive.
No soundboard today, so I can't play the simple jack noise. But do want to let you guys know right now, Jeremy's Razors doing a special partnership where you can win a free trip to Vegas to see Power Slap live on October 25th. All you have to do between now and the 14th, so you better hurry up, is purchase a Precision 5 Razor starter set or Jeremy's Chocolate. Again, that's between now and the 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And you'll be entered to win a VIP trip to see Power Slap live. This is an exclusive event, not open to the public. You get 4 tickets if you win. So slap the hell out of your shaving routine with Jeremy's Razors. Go to jeremy'srazors.com/slap for complete sweepstakes rules to purchase your Precision 5 or Jeremy's Chocolate to enter. 18, you must be 18 or older and be a U.S. citizen. Make sure you go to jeremy'srazors.com/slap for more details. 2-0 last night. That makes me happy, David. I'm trying to do it again. Don't love the slate tonight. But I do. I'm taking Colorado minus 12.5 at minus 110.
Bought it up?
No, it was up for when I looked at it this morning. So give me Colorado minus 12.5. I almost took the TTP. I saw 37.5. So give me the Buffs minus 12.5 tonight. I just don't believe in Stanford. And then Utah State, Fresno. Fresno backup quarterback plan. Mikey Keene's hurt. Fresno State really good on defense. Fresno just played in Laramie, Wyoming. Now they got to go to even more elevation on a short week. So give me the under 56.5. Utah State turns it over too much. Fresno State doesn't turn it over. I like the under 56.5 minus 110.
I'll take Fresno State minus 2.5. I bought the extra hook there. That's minus 163 on the odds. I'm going to go with Memphis plus 4.5, mostly because they're at home against Tulane. Minus 110 on the odds. That should be a good football game.
All right, Hercules. 1-1 yesterday, Chiefs. Goodness gracious, thank you for pulling that backdoor cover. We'll take it.
No,
oh, God. All right, give me Tulane, Memphis. Going a couple over here today. There's nothing like, I haven't watched it. I've watched enough of Colorado and Stanford. We know what the defense are looking like on that game, but I haven't watched a lot of Tulane, Memphis this year. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the points. It's all root for points. It's a fun thing to do. Over 54.5. That's going off at minus 110. Then Colorado, Stanford, give me the over as well at 59.5. That's also going off at a minus 110. Let's start the weekend right.
All right, Ace. He's bet buds with you, Blaine. Memphis Tulane over 54.5. And he's going to take the Colorado TTP over 37.5 at minus 110. All right,
let's get some donos here. We don't have much time. Let's go to Freeway Jared with the $5 donation. Get off the freeway, Jared. As an SEC fan in the PNW, super excited for Saturday. Give me Penix Jr. and that stable of 3 NFL receivers at home. I'll be on the sidelines for it. Let's Go,
Hey,
Jared. This is the thing
Jared.
you tell us before so we can send you out here with some Crane and Company.
Yeah, like if you got any gear, if you got any merch, man, rock on sign. Send us a pic though on social. I want to see it, man. That's gonna be dope.
Hell yeah. Let's go to 2 cranes, 1 cone.
That's hot.
I can never not laugh when I say that. $2 donation. Woke up and chose violence.
Love it.
Braves, choke on.
Yeah.
That's
a good. That's I'm gonna be
right.
honest.
Talk about a bad beat.
He's right.
And to talk about a bad beat, knock the ball down, West Virginia.
Yeah, that's why you bat it. Don't catch it.
Almost
Say it all
took the
time.
money line.
All right, let's go to Barrister JM with a $20 donation. Appreciate it, brother. Says, Jake, who knew yesterday's sign-off would be so prophetic? Prophetic. 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 Okay. Phillies rung that bell. Ring my bell. Flaming Dragon, let's go Flyers. Start the season with a W. Let's go,
Flyers
baby.
1-0.
Wow.
Let's go, baby.
Now, you want to know how funny it is? Now I look to see the Flyers.
Who they beat? Who they beat?
It wasn't the Canadiens.
It's
No,
the
Canucks. I thought it was the Columbus.
I went to the
Blue
Predators
Jackets.
game last
They were
night.
on the road, I think.
Yeah, they're on the. I can look right now. I was at a Predators game last night. Predators won 3-0.
Yeah.
So
You went last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets. That's
Yeah.
it.
Did Rhino go, or was it just you?
Yeah, it was me and my girl. That's all. Let's go to. Read that one. No, I didn't. Gray Fox, $5 donation. He says, guys, thank y'all so much. Love college football. What are y'all doing with the show? He says, and could Charlie's mama get some love? Oh, I'm Chris, by the way. I did read this. He just had a son, I believe.
No,
Congratulations, y'all.
Congrats.
Absolutely, congratulations. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. Nope, that's all the donations. Let me get to this poll. Will Drake be the reason Georgia loses this year?
I feel like the Butcher Club believes in curses like we do, especially if you believe in the Ghost Pirates. I'm going to say yes. 56%. Top that, David.
No. Georgia's good.
Good.
They're
All right.
good.
All right, no. 55%.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually higher than I thought. I'm going to be honest. That's higher than I thought. Like the front row of a Bob Marley concert. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go buy some merch. We have a great special guest picker. We're dropping that this afternoon. Josh Mancuso joins us. Seen him all over, actor and comedian. He's making his picks, a Tennessee fan. We're going to drop that later, so make sure you check that out. And don't forget our Sunday recap and NFL preview. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go sign up to the Daily Wire Plus. We really appreciate you guys. And like the chances of the Braves not wasting all of our time in 2023, we're going.
Whoa! Ow, you quarterback!